Welcome back to Streamline Investigations, people. I didn't discuss a Daily Mail, basically article video as well, which the Daily Mail was actually talking to a well-known private investigator. Let's get straight into it to see what points he makes.
Topography makes it almost impossible that a stranger could have abducted him. I spoke to Ken Gamble, one of Australia's top private investigators. Mr. Gamble says Gus's abilities may have been underestimated. He says the early search should have looked far beyond the initial 2-kilometre radius. When Daily Mail tried to speak to Josie Murray on the property recently, she brandished a pump-action shotgun at our reporter.
Sorry, I just...
Get out! Are you deaf?
Okay.
I do notice after that sort of confrontation with Josie there, the Daily Mail have not been back out there. Reporters, to be honest with you, I think they really keep their distance now, and they should.
It's been more than 6 weeks since little Gus Lamont went missing on September 27. He's believed to have wandered off from his parents' remote sheep station in Yunta.
I gotta admit, when you just see the outback like that and the land, it just seems so flat. And I just don't understand why they couldn't find him.
Which is about 230 kilometres north of Adelaide. His grandmother, Shannon Murray, was the last person to see him when he was playing in a mound of sand outside of the family homestead around 5 p.m. of that evening. No sign of Gus has been found since, despite multiple land, air and waterway searches from police, the army and the SES. Various explanations for Gus's disappearance have been talked about, from disused mine shafts to wild animals. Police seem to be no nearer to working out what has become of the missing child. In fact, there seem to be more unanswered questions now than there were when he first vanished. Many conspiracy theories have circulated.
I mean, it's gone so quiet, and it seems like Josie and Shannon are just basically getting on with life. Though they should. I'm not accusing them, but it's just weird that they've not just said basically we're still looking. Don't forget, they didn't want help from anybody apart from the police. It seems, which is fair enough. Yes, they are a very private family. You know, you've got to have some respect for that. But the lack of, I don't know, people talking on behalf of the family is non-existent, and this is why people think that is something seriously wrong. It just doesn't seem right to me.
Circulated online, all as unlikely as the next. People have been particularly fixated on the theory that perhaps a wild animal got to Gus. Dingoes, a wild dog, have previously been responsible for abducting small children here in Australia. But there are precious few dingoes around in South Australia, and farmers tend to shoot them on sight. The region is also protected by a 1,200-mile-long dog fence. Crocodiles, which inhabit the tropical regions in Australia, are not found in the south. Gus is too big to have been taken by an eagle, and if he was attacked by a wild pig, some of which are in the area, there would have been signs of a bloody struggle. Local topography makes it almost impossible that a stranger could have abducted him. The nearest major road is the Barrier Highway, which takes long-distance truckers to New South Wales from South Australia.
I mean, Karleigh speaks very well for herself, and she's been absolutely brilliant on this case. But like she says, and like Don says, the actual answers are with the 3 adults that were on the property. We don't even know whether there was anyone else visitors, because obviously there was a big football match that evening going on in Australia as well. That was kind of bizarre to me. Were they drinking? Did an accident happen? Did they have to sober up to cover the incident up? We just don't know. Like I said, we're speculating.
Australia. But to reach it, Gus would have had to walk about 30 kilometres. If he had wandered off and simply perished, many would have thought that his remains would have been found by now.
100%.
I spoke to Ken Gamble, one of Australia's top private investigators. He has speculated where police may have gone wrong in their search for Gus. When police first arrived on the evening Gus went missing, they immediately began a ground search within a 2-kilometre radius. But 6 days later, the search was scaled back. It wasn't until authorities returned days later that they widened the operation again, this time to a 5-kilometre radius. Mr. Gamble says Gus's abilities may have been underestimated. He says the early search should have looked far beyond the initial 2-kilometre radius. He says if it were up to him, he would have launched a wide-scale, grid-based search covering 7 to 8 kilometres from the outset. A massive sweep that could have captured any direction the little boy might have travelled. You would think in that terrain that there would be footprints if he had walked off, Mr. Gamble said, noting that the one lone footprint matching a boot Gus was thought to be wearing was discovered in the dust. It is unusual behaviour for a child to just run off into the bush. It's not normal, but if he did go and do that, he could have gone in any direction and he could have gone a significant distance.
Fair enough, they're saying he could have gone significant distance. But my point on that is why hasn't it been found with the army, with basically sniffer dogs and many other top organisations out there as well, including the police and professional searchers. It just doesn't make sense to me why he wasn't found. And like I said, they've gone further afield than the 2 km and nothing. Could he have walked that far? I just don't think he would. I don't think he would go past maybe 5 km or 10 km. He wasn't one. The family have said he wasn't one for just wandering off, and he just used to play very, very close to home. This is why it's so bizarre and where he's gone. And like I said, we've only got Josie's word that technically he was at the property at that time in Shannon's. It's odd that nobody else has come out. Yes, we've had neighbours come out and family members, but basically friends and neighbours who were very close, it seems, to the family. But it's bizarre to me. It really is where this boy is.
He said. Police can underestimate just how far someone, especially an energetic little boy, can wander. The boy's family, which includes parents Josh Lamont and Jessica Murray, grandmother Shannon Murray, and transgender grandparent Josie Murray, have refused to speak publicly. When Daily Mail tried to speak to Josie Murray on the property recently, she brandished a pump-action shotgun at our reporter.
Pardon?
Who are you?
I'm with the media.
Out! You are trespassing! Get out!
I'm so sorry.
Get out! Are you deaf?
Okay. I was leaving.
Get out!
I was leaving.
Shut your face and get out! We'll have the
Wow, so aggressive. Absolutely just so aggressive. There was just no need for it. Absolutely no need for it. All Josie/Robert should have said is, look, basically, we are dealing with the police. Can you please leave? And basically, she didn't have to come out to the property with a gun.
police on you because you've been warned not to come here. Get out!
I haven't been here before.
Get out!
I haven't been here before.
What are you deaf? Get out!
The other grandparent, Shannon, was the last person to see the 4-year-old on the evening of September 27, when he was playing in the sand outside the family homestead at 5 p.m.
Well, you just look at that wilderness, and they couldn't find him. It's just absolutely bizarre. It really is. Just looking. I mean, I've never been to Australia, but that's kind of flat. And like I said, I keep saying it, but like I said, I just don't think he would wander that far unless someone had taken him. But to actually sort of come in, someone would have saw something off that dust road.
When she went to call him at 5:30 p.m, he was gone. It has been speculated within the community near Yunta that the Murrays may now look to sell the Oak Park station that has been in their family for generations, passed down through Shannon's family line. It's believed the couple are in their 70s and their only child is Gus's mother, Jessica, who insiders say may not be able to carry on the family legacy after the trauma of losing her son. At the time that Gus vanished, Jessica's partner...
I mean, the funny thing is someone said actually what sort of farming they're actually doing on the land, because to me, it doesn't look like a lot.
Joshua Lamont was at his own farmhouse in Karleigh North, around a 2-hour drive from Oak Park Station. However, he now appears to have moved into another home which is understood to be owned by Shannon and Josie Murray. Joshua refused to speak to a Daily Mail reporter when approached on Tuesday.
So it's obviously he's still liaising with Josie and Shannon if he's moved into one of their houses in Adelaide. That's a little bit bizarre to me if he was really angry. I just don't get it. It just seems like Josie's got control of the whole situation and what people say, what you can say and what you can't say. I'm just surprised that Joshua, the dad, has not come out and said anything.
Jessica has not been seen since Gus vanished on September 27. It is understood that she remains at Oak Park Station with her 1-year-old son Ronnie, who she also shares with Joshua. SA Police Chief Grant Stevens said that they would return to Oak Park Station for further searches and that they have not yet given up on finding Gus. Drained 3.2 million litres of water from a dam near the property last month, but found no trace of the boy. The dam is around 600 metres from the homestead and is thought to have been about 4.5 metres deep.
So police have returned today to the Oak Park Station near Yunta in the continued search for Gus Lamont. Today we'll be focusing on draining a dam which is about 600 metres from the property. It's only about 4.5 metres deep. I stress the dam has already been searched by a water operations unit, but just out of a sense of thoroughness we were going to drain the dam just to check where the low-lying areas amongst the vegetation. This will complete today, and in terms of the drone searching that was undertaken, that has been assessed. Regrettably, nothing of any significance came from that drone footage. But
it wasn't much. I know there wasn't anything significant, but it's nice to have sort of a briefing into what they did see and basically it just, an update.
Over the next coming weeks, we'll continue to assess the aerial footage that was taken more broadly across the property to see if there's any information from that leads us to any lines of inquiry.
Commissioner Stevens said there have been 2 reviews into the search efforts.
We've done minimum of 2 reviews in relation to the searching exercise from the moment we were advised of Gus having gone missing. Peer reviews by experts who have taken an objective view as to whether or not there could have been things done differently. Those reviews have identified opportunities to enhance what we've done, but there's been no criticism of the search effort from the moment we were notified. Acting on the advice from survivability experts, doctors, medical staff in relation to exactly what the likelihood of Gus, how far Gus might travel and how long he was able to survive without any support or assistance. There is no evidence of foul play at this time, but as I've said publicly before, we are still open to any possibilities that might have resulted in Gus having gone missing.
Despite 3 previous major search operations involving SAPOL, AirPol, the SES and the ADF, Gus has still not been found. It is not suggested that any of Gus's family members are involved in his disappearance.
That was Karleigh, and like I said, she's been absolutely brilliant on this case. I mean, the private investigator did come out with some really, really good thoughts. But I just think that, like I said, we just need to push the police for more answers, but they're not going to be rushed and they're not going to be forced into making a decision. So we're in a bit of a catch-2 situation about Gus Lamont. I'm just really, really afraid to see people. I think this could go into months, possibly years before this is actually resolved. And like I said, you heard from the news reporter there, Karleigh, that the family are thinking of selling the property. I don't think they actually do much work on the farm, maybe produce. It's said that they keep sheep and other animals on there at the end of the day, but away from the actual farm somewhere else. And I think they're allowed to roam a little bit as well, which is understandable. But like I said, the family are possibly for money. They've got other properties as well. It seems like they could be well to do, and maybe after Gus gone missing, they can't live with themselves. That's a possibility as well. But until he's found, we never know who's involved and what actually happened to him. And with Jess not coming out and saying something, and obviously the topic of conversation is, had she done something to the boy Gus, you just don't know. We can speculate as much as possible, but like I said, it seemed like the police are really, really tight-lipped, and it seemed like the family seemed to have a lot of control over the narrative they put out, and nobody seems to be questioning it. So let's just hope we get some news soon. Or I can honestly see this case going into months and years and be one of those cases which is going to be at archives where we're going to be talking about it, but we don't know what happened. Let me know your thoughts, people, because we need something urgently. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Investigations and support the channel. Thank you.